everyone, and welcome to episode 387 of 5 Star Potential, your weekly Football Manager podcast. I'm your host, Doop, and joining me, as always, is the beautiful Irishman, Mr. Paul Madden. How you doing, mate?
Are you okay? Have you been drinking? That's the nicest. That's literally the nicest thing you've ever said to me. You're probably going to upset somebody by being too nice to me.
I think it's
this has happened before.
I think what the problem is like there's no one to show off to. It's just me and you. Like,
yeah, you're always trying to impress Dave.
I even got his name on my hat. Right. Firstly, Mad, I just want to discuss a quick thing with you. I just can't believe how strange it is that there's been zero top flight Premier League football on this weekend. It's mental, isn't it?
No football to talk about whatsoever. Nothing happened.
No, literally nothing happened.
Empty weekend. Yeah.
So how did you feel your weekend, Mad? Any winners of the week, losers of the week? Done anything cool?
I was playing some football. We were doing a bit of a tournament out my way. I've spoken about it before on the pod, how unfortunately I sadly lost my brother going back just over a year ago. And his birthday's in January. And after he passed away was October 23. He would have turned 40 January last year, 24. So we did a bit of a footy tournament because we used to play on the same team. And a lot of the same mates and stuff from school and from a couple of different clubs that he has played for. So we all got together last year and did it again this year. So it's going to be a bit of an annual thing. My team got to the final, Doop. We won the league. There was 6 teams. We won the league. We were unbeaten. We only drew one and won the rest. And then there was kind of like a final, winner's final, loser's final, just for the laugh. And we lost that final on penalties. But nobody cares about the cup. It's all about the league, as you will.
It's all about the league, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome, mate.
And then we went down the piss after. So I'm still feeling the effects because, those kind of things, as you can imagine, turn into a bit of a session in a pub for about 12 hours. So,
more importantly, did you win that one?
I always win that one. I mean, come on, Dupe. Except for when I'm in Cirencester.
Did you lose the key? Do you know what? Negative. I'm funny you say that because my watch has just gone off because I put a tweet out earlier. We are recording this on Monday. We'll get to that shortly. But I'm best man for somebody. One of my oldest.
I saw you tweet this. You tweeted this today about organizing things.
And I'm having to organize a stag do in August. So we've got a stag do in August. It's a really fuck it. Football Manager's not even out yet, so we just talk anything mad here. So I am. I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing a podcast. No, I'm doing a stag do for 12 of us. Me, the best man. Me as the best man, the groom, and then 10 others. Now the issue is, I was like, this is like my longest friend ever. You met him. He come out on my birthday when I had to do the speech. I announced they were pregnant when they actually weren't pregnant.
Yes, yeah.
That. So like we got like an old. He's literally like
still friends after that. That's good to see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he is actually. Well, he's not, but she's actually pregnant. She's due in 2 months. So congratulations. He won't listen to this. He hates Football Manager. So I don't know why he's my friend. Anyway, so there's 10 other people going, and they're all his uni friends that I've literally probably not met for longer than an hour combined. So I might have bumped into them or whatever. So I'm trying to organize for like mid-30s to early 40s, 10 blokes I've never met before, to try and organize some fun when we all know organized fun isn't that fun at all. So I'm basically just going to hire out an Airbnb and do a giant network save.
They love that.
So it's been a pain, and it's the most stressful thing that's going on in my life at the moment. So apart from that,
the solution is simple: flight to Ireland.
No, I've don't even get me started. So literally, I set the WhatsApp group up. I find out who's interested. I put a little poll in, going, right, what we thinking? Do we want to go abroad? Do we want to stay in England? What you thinking? And basically everybody put they want to go abroad, and I was like, okay, sweet. And I was like, all right, what's your budget? Are we going like abroad to like Barcelona or Prague, or are we going to like Dubai, or are we going to like Vegas? Like, where are you? Yeah. At the time there was 12 people in the WhatsApp group. There's now only 10 because 2 people has dropped out because they can't make the dates. And out of them, 5 of the 12 that were coming put in they wanted to go to Vegas. Those 5 didn't even have a fucking passport. So
Never left the
Yes,
country.
we're now
Don't know
doing
where
it in
Vegas
England.
is.
We're now doing it in England. And so, oh yeah, one of them said they wanted to go to Vegas, but they only wanted to spend 150 quid. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
I mean, this kind of guy you could just put into any casino and tell him you're in Vegas, and he'll probably believe you.
Yeah, take him to Blackpool, you never know. So yeah, that's my loser of the week, which is me. My win of the week is the Philadelphia Eagles, who last night reached their divisional. They beat the Rams, and they're now in the conference game for the NFC Championship. Next week against the Commanders. If you like NFL, you'll love it. If you hate it or don't know anything about it, I just spoke a load of goggling to you. So
yeah, I don't really know much about NFL, but I pretend I do. Just nod and smile.
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
what I do about Football Manager as well, in fairness. So.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Is what it is.
Okay, we need to address the elephant in the room before we go any further. We may be a day late. We also may be a Dave down. But legally, we are both under an NDA, and we're not allowed to discuss the reason why Dave is not here and why we are a day late. So let's just move on. Okay. Brilliant.
I want to tell everyone what he did. No, never mind.
Nah. It was a misunderstanding. No, we're not even allowed to go down that road. All right. Okay. She said she was no. Right. I've got a few things to tell you, Mad. And I'm going to go and list what I want to tell you, and then I'm going to break it all down for you. So, as it's a Football Manager podcast, I've got a new Football Manager save. And in that save file, for some reason, I don't know why, but Manchester United are very good, unlike real life. Number 2, I've also got another challenge for you, like we did with the bottom at Christmas and the one Arsenal one. I've got another challenge for you, which we'll release. And anyone that wants to do it, feel free to check out the description. We'll go through it shortly. Number 3, I've got a little question to you personally about FM25. And to cap it all off, right at the end of the show, I've got a quiz for you. I
feel under pressure. This is a lot of pressure. I don't know if I'm able for all this.
Well, you said you wanted to do a podcast on this fine Saturday afternoon, so I thought, we'll drive it. Yes, and I'll be honest with you, mate. The turns have tabled, so they say in the office. So I think we should start at the top. I want to set a scene for you, Mad, and I want to talk to you all about my Manchester United save. In my Manchester United save, we are at the 14th of March, 2025. So we started with the updated database, and so the league table was correct, and we went in at Manchester United, and we disabled the first transfer window because I do that with all my saves at the moment, mainly because it gets you into the save a lot quicker, right? Because normally what will happen is you kind of like tiptoe into a save and it takes you forever, and then before you actually get into it, it gets quite difficult. Whereas you get your tactic, unless you're going for something crazy, which we'll get to very shortly. You basically you are in the game very quickly without the transfers. So we did make a transfer in the winter, but we'll get down there a little bit later down the stretch. I want to talk to you about my system. I've decided my save is basically called Chin Up Ruben because Ruben Amorim is struggling a little bit at the Man United. Don't get me wrong. I think as a manager, I think he talks a lot of sense. But at the moment, he can't get that sense onto the pitch.
Really quickly, do you agree with what he said, actually? Because he came out and he said it's quite possible that this is the worst Manchester United team in history. Now, history is probably strong, but in terms of
Premier League era,
years,
Premier League era, statistically, he's speaking facts, right? I think it's something that could have been, personally, I think it's something that could have been brought up behind the scenes. I don't think you need to kind of tell that to the press, but I think he's very brutally honest. I think he's covering his own back a little bit. But I'll be honest with you, I actually kind of like that. I kind of like that he doesn't really care and he just tells it as it is and he's not going to pussyfoot around. And he's kind of basically just, it's like having another Ralph Rangnick. You know what I mean? He's basically just saying what's going on and that's that. And I'm kind of hoping that there was rumors or talks that now Dan Ashworth has left, that Ralph may be coming back as a director of football.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be a bad idea, but anyway. So yes, my formation is called Chin Up Ruben, and the save is called Chin Up Ruben. Basically, I'm going to try and show him how easy it would be to play a back three. So spoilers, I'm playing a back three, but I'm playing a strange back three, Mad. I have sent you a screenshot so you can see. We're going high press, a bit like what Amorim likes to do. We're going for very attacking wing backs or wing back, which we'll get to shortly. And we are going for very talented number 10s behind a fast-paced striker. So season 1, we started off with a back 3 or back 2, I should say, offset. So we had one in the middle as the lit. On the right-hand side, we started Lenny Yoro for most of the season. And then that was your kind of their offset, if you know what I mean. So then we had a player in the left back as a inverted fullback on defend. And he was Lisandro Martinez. So in the attack phase, he drifted up. In the defensive phase, he cut in, and he was very solid as a back 3. In front
So
of
you're basically you've got 2 centre backs in centre back areas, and then on paper, let's say on this, when you're looking at the tactics, it's actually a left back and a gap between the the centre back in the middle.
Because I wanted the inverted fullback on defend, because basically what will happen is in front of the defenders, I've got Ugarte on a halfback defend, so he'll actually slot into the slot, and as much as Martinez will then cut in, we've then got my wing back, which at the time was Amad Diallo, who I was retraining, because I couldn't fit him in anywhere else, so I had him as a right wing back, and it was kind of just sexy in the defensive core, but then we still had the attack, the attack in mind to go forward. And Martinez never really hovered too far from where he needed to be. He was told to hold his position, to sit narrower. And if you haven't used the inverted fullback before, it's very much like just a normal wing back, or a normal fullback, I should say, instead of the inverted wing back, which cuts inside in that center mid role or DM role. The inverted fullback basically just tucks inside after the phase has been built up. So he's out wide to create passing methods and ways that you can use him in the build-up. But once that first initial build-up phase has stopped, Martinez kind of tucks in as more like a third defender, which then leaves Ugarte and Mainu on a DLP support to go forward and express themselves a bit, but yet still have that Ugarte deciding to come back and defend. Martinez would then drift out wide to try and help support the left-hand side when we needed it. Does that make kind of sense? So yeah,
I think I'm going to bring it up on screen. Do you want to go through any of the signings, and then I think we should bring it up on screen.
Yeah, okay, we can touch on it very shortly. So then we had Garnacho and Rashford out on the left wing, Bruno Fernandes as an AP attacker, then number 10. We had Mason Mount as an AP support, and then we had Højlund, and that kind of got us to third in the league. Didn't really win anything else. No, I've completely lied to you. We won the Europa League and the FA Cup, but we didn't win anything else. So we actually won quite a lot. Beating Everton in the final of the FA Cup, and also beating Tottenham in the Europa League final. Both of them 3-2. In January, though, Mason Mount got injured, so I brought in Cole Palmer on loan. We are talking pre-Cole Palmer becoming very good. He is very good on the game, but we still brought him in. He played 15 games. He had 4 assists, 2 goals for us. It wasn't fantastic. Didn't light the world up. But I think we pay in like 40% of his wages. It was actually not a bad little deal. That was all we brought in. In the winter, we did get rid of no one. So we just kind of kept it kind of chill. Going into the next season, we brought some more players in, and we did actually bring some more loans in. Some of the loans that we brought in was Elise on loan. We brought in Tammy Abrahams on loan. And we brought João Neves in on loan from PSG, the young Portuguese, who has very quickly gone back after only playing 10 games for us this season. Like I said, we're in March. He went back in the winter window, and I accepted that, to be fair. I also spent 20 million on Thiago Almeida, who
FM legend.
FM legend at Atalanta. Atlanta. I always struggle with those two. He was at Vélez before, but yeah, very talented, very good. He's now partnering Bruno Fernandes. We've brought in Gyökeres from Sporting, obviously. Again, very good talent, very good this season. He's on a lot of money, but he's also very upset because I'm trying to get Mason Mount out of the club, which makes no sense. We brought in some more centre backs. One being we initiated the sellout clause for Antonio Silva from Benfica, who at 22 years old is insanely good. I brought in Salamakers to do that right wing back role because he plays that very, very well.
He does, yeah.
He's basically a winger with above 10 tackling, so he's actually pretty decent. Boyson as well, we brought in from Bournemouth, 20 years of age, 6'5". Bought him for 12 million quid, obviously, before he's amazing in game. So hopefully we should have some fun with that. And that was kind of it. We kind of kept Garnacho in. We kept, you can probably put it up now if you want to. If you want to, if you've got any questions. And you can bring up the tactic. So
I won't be getting excited at a Man United save, just to let you have it. But I will bring the tactic on screen now if anyone's watching on YouTube.
Yeah,
just to give you a bit of a view on how it looks.
It's a bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie, but it kind of works in a way. We also brought Mark Gay in from Palace, 33 million. It's just like, and we haven't spent a huge amount. Right? Okay, we have.
Do I see you've rated Sporting here as well down the bottom right? No, you've got Diamande.
Yeah, I was going to say I have only just bought Diamande, and Heulemann is he came in early. He's just a backup to Ugarte, who obviously used to play for Sporting as well. And I'll be honest, Usman Diamande was just because De Ligt's just struggling a little bit. I don't get the confidence out of him. So I've just thought we've got now 3 very young centre backs, plus Martinez, plus De Ligt, and plus Mark Gay. So we've got like a core of 6 centre backs actually very good. That would do the job.
Gay could definitely slot into where Martinez, I'm sure, or even be retrained if needed, just to push up.
Yeah, he's very physically good and very quick, so his positioning's quite good as well at 15. So Gay could definitely do that role. It doesn't have to be a left footer. We don't actually have another left footer, but Martinez does play that role pretty good because he's very good on the ball. So in the build-up play, he can be pretty good. We have sold a lot of players as well. Dallow's
I was going to say the likes of the strikers like Xerxes, Højlund gone.
Højlund's still there. I think he's just injured at this current moment in time. But Diego Dallo went to Madrid for 50 mil. Xerxes went to Tottenham. Malacia went to Newcastle. Sancho obviously was already gone. Luke Shaw went to Arsenal for 16 million quid, by the way. Forest bought Anthony. Casemiro went to Saudi Arabia. Maguire went on a free. Johnny Evans on a free. Lindelof on a free. Which, okay, there's 3 really average centre backs, but we still had to replace them. So we sold 207 million, and we paid 270 million. So it's only a net spend of like 65 million pounds, and we've actually generated quite a good little side. Going into March now, or halfway through March, I should say, we've already won stuff. I've won the Super Cup, which was quite cool. We played Barcelona. I beat them 5-2. In quite a comprehensive game. It creates chances, this tactic, but because of the overload, it just creates a really good, it creates a good amount of very good chances. So, like, for example, Barcelona outchanced us in that game, but we beat them 5-2 because we have that inside forward. We got 4 players in a very attacking role. Plus, Salamakers, when he pushes forward, he's very attacking as well. It's a bit OP. I'm not going to lie. We are asking them to press and we win the ball back high. It's quite nice. We got knocked out by Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, but we don't need to talk about that. We also won the European/South American Club Challenge.
The what now?
The European/South American Club Challenge. Yeah. So
no, I don't understand.
The winners of the European Super Cup play the winners of the Brazilian Super Cup from the Copa Libertadores and the Copa Sudamerica you play each other. I never knew that was a thing. It might
Is this
not
one
be a
of these
thing.
new? This is the second because there's 2 intercontinental competitions now.
Potentially.
Is that one
Yeah.
of the
I don't know,
weird?
but
I don't know.
that
Hard to
came
keep track.
about. Yeah, that came about. We have just drawn Tottenham in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Obviously we are holders. Chelsea play Hull, quite an easy tie for them. Everton, Brighton, Arsenal, Leeds. So, there's going to be some easier games coming up in that. We are top of the league, Mad. Doing quite well in the Premier League. We've lost 4 games. Annoyingly, Newcastle. My time machine has just said that Wolves have scored, by the way. And I see
Cool.
somebody on the screen. We lost to Brighton, which apparently happens. Nottingham Forest and Man City. So to be fair, 4 very good games we lost to. But we've done really well. We're on 69 points after 29 games. Liverpool are second on 65. Newcastle are third on 61. Who actually they went on to win the Carabao Cup. And not only did they win the Carabao Cup, they won it back to back. And not only did they win it back to back, they sacked Eddie Howe quite early into my save.
That happens in a lot of saves, I think.
Yeah, so he got sacked March last year. Jason Tyndall took over for 26 days. So Eddie Howe won the Carabao Cup and in February and got sacked in the March. Who took over? This isn't the quiz, by the way, but who took over at Newcastle United?
Jose.
Close. Jurgen.
Oh, wow. I hate him.
Jurgen
No, thank
Klopp. City are 4th on 59, so we're 10 points clear of them. And we're doing really well in the league. We've kind of played all of the tough teams now in the league. So yeah, we do. We still have to. I mean, we still got to play you, but we play you at home. And then we got to play Arsenal away on the last day. So it's kind of in our hands, really. We're playing like West Ham, Leeds, Ipswich, Brentford, Burnley. We should win the league pretty comfortably. I also, in the last 16 of the Champions League, we played Atalanta, who obviously I did a save with on stream not that long ago. In the first leg at their place, they beat me 5-3. And we got very, very lucky that it was only 5, I'll be honest with you. And then we beat them 3-0 at home. And Marcus Rashford added on goal, extra time goal, sealed us the victory. And we don't actually know who we got. I thought we did. It's not been drawn yet. I thought we had RB Leipzig. Why did I think that? Okay, we didn't have RB Leipzig. But Liverpool, Liverpool's been knocked out. Atletico Bilbao's been knocked out. Arsenal, Napoli, Celtic, Tottenham. So some good teams knocked out, and Tottenham. So that's going to be quite fun. So all in all, Matt, we're doing pretty well. We've just, like I said, just come out of the winter transfer. We have sold, like I said, that only just sold players like Luke Shaw and Matsuari as well. We sold him to Milan for 40 million. So I've got budget. I've got 60 million sat in the bank. Our balance is terrible, but we got 60 million sat in the bank to spend. And I'm trying to replace Bruno Fernandes. Is going to be my big one for next season. Basically, very good player, obviously. Still very talented on game. At the moment, he's got 18 assists in 26 games in the league. Very good. But he's missing games. He's always needs a rest. Always needs a rest. And Saudi Arabia want him. They kind of put a little bit of a feeder out in the winter. He didn't ask to leave, but his contract, he's only got 18 months left on his contract. So I might trigger it and keep him, or I might just get rid of him. And I have a replacement ready, and it's the young Xavi Simons from PSG.
Oh, I was going to suggest a different one.
Florian Wirtz.
Florian Wirtz, yeah.
Yeah, so I've looked at Florian Wirtz, but he is only 91 million, so he is doable. But the problem is he's got a release clause on 91, so you have to pay the 91 up front. The only other player that I was thinking of who I tried to get to play in that role was Jamal Musiala.
Ooh, wow.
But he is just not available. I offered, like, I know I didn't have the money, but I offered buying 60 million up front and like 50 over scheduled. No. 100 million, no. 150 million, no. 200 million, no. 250 million, just would not budge.
Not having it. Okay.
So he is he is somebody I'd love to have. I think he'll be quality in that position. But he's just somebody that's going to be a little bit out of reach for me, I think, because he's probably perfect for what I want. But yeah, he's wanted by Liverpool and PSG as well at the moment. But I don't know. We'll see. Crazily as well, he started his career at Chelsea and went to Bayern.
That's right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
he has part nationality. He could play for England. He played, well, he can't now because he's played 39 caps. But in game he's played 39 caps. But he had 2 under-21 caps for England. Like, imagine if England had him as well. That'd be nuts.
Didn't they try? They tried quite hard, I believe.
They should have. They should have tried a bit harder. So
imagine him and Bellingham. Whoa,
fucking hell, yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of where we're at. My aim for the save, I know I'd like to think we don't have long, but I just want to get Man United to be in the best in the country again. Liverpool have yet to win a league extra, so we are still Manchester United have obviously still only got the 20 and Liverpool got the 19, but they've got those 6 Champions Leagues. And so I am basically trying to be successful in the league and win the Champions League 3 more times, preferably 4 more times, which is going to be a big ask, but I am flying through it, to be fair. And I've jumped on stream every now and then with it, not kind of anything too strict or what, but yeah, every now and then jumped on stream and played a bit. So yeah, that's pretty much the save, mate.
Nice. You love a good Man United save every year, in fairness.
Yeah, do you know what? It's the frustration. Normally, it's the frustration. I see just how annoying it is, and I'm like, I just want to see it good. It's terrible, but yeah, it's always nice managing your own team, right? Right. Talking about managing your own team, I've got a new team for you to manage, Mad. And I'm not sure.
This might help because I haven't really. So I haven't spoken about my save for a while because I just haven't played too much.
Right.
I did 4 seasons at Deportivo La Coruña. Finished 5th in the one just gone. I think third. We finished 3rd the one before that. Brought in some players, but I just haven't really touched it for a little while. Just been doing other things, to be honest. So it's still there, but a challenge might be an idea because we're probably getting to a point where things FM25 related, or at least news, could come any day. So maybe a challenge will narrow that gap.
I've just decided I'm in a mood with you because I've just scrolled up in our chat on Discord to find the challenge to talk about it, and I've scrolled up too far with me telling you that Jurgen Klopp has taken over at Newcastle in my save, and you didn't know. So clearly, you don't read my messages. Thanks.
I told you I was consuming alcohol at the weekend. Dude. Come on.
No. Hang on. This was sent on the 8th.
Sorry. I consume alcohol every weekend.
It was 10:10, so you were probably drunk. So
probably was midway through.
Okay, super. So let me talk you through the challenge. So we've done a few Premier League ones now, and now I'll be honest with you. In this save file, there's some exciting Premier League challenges that could have been the challenge because there's a certain the biggest club in the Northeast are doing Northeast are doing fantastically well. But they need a little hand. So one challenge was to take over Sunderland, who are currently 18th in the Premier League. But that's not going to be it. The other one was going to be a Newcastle, very similar to the Arsenal save, because they're currently sat in 3rd. Potentially could win the league, their first Premier League title. But that's not going to be it. We're going to, in fact, head over to Spain because Simeone has just been sacked at Atletico Madrid. In the 13th of January, you find yourselves sat in 9th position on 27 points. You are 11 points behind Atletico Bilbao, who are sat in 3rd position, which is normally Atletico Madrid's favorite place to be. So the challenge is very, very simple. I would just like you to bring Atletico Madrid back to their stomping grounds, back to their normal seat at the table. However, I always like to add a caveat and a little bit I like to make the challenge a little bit harder. but I also like to make it a little bit easier. I have given you 17 days or 18 days left of the transfer window to do your business. How much money? I hear you ask. I hear you cry. How much money have you given me? You got 30 million to spend. You have got 30
Doable.
million pounds to spend. You've also got Saudi Arabia wanting Antoine Griezmann. Okay. You've also got some fantastic players in there, i.e., Conor Gallagher. The first transfer window was open, so people did have a chance to purchase because I've actually not told you the truth here. I simmed 18 months in the event. I haven't just simmed it 6 months. We are actually 13th of Jan 2025, so squads might be a little bit different, so it's just to add a little bit of change to it. For example, currently at Atletico Madrid, you've got Lloyd Kelly
I've
loaned
just
in
loaded it up and I
from
saw that they've
Newcastle.
signed Lloyd Kelly and Axel Disasi.
Yes.
This isn't starting wonderfully.
No. But
No.
so tactic wise, I'm going to let you pick what you want. However, I am going to put a slight caveat on it. Is I think Atletico Madrid have had obviously Simeone in charge for a very long time, and I am saying when I say a long time, he's probably one of those managers that I can't actually think he must be one of the longest servings, right?
I think he is. If he's not the longest, like he's definitely the longest serving in the top 5 leagues, but it could
Yeah.
also be like in Europe. I could be wrong now, but as
So
far as I know,
in
top
game,
10.
he was sacked on 30th of November last year. So 60, sort of, no, good maths, about 38, no, 49, 50 days ago. And
Yeah.
that was 12 years, 345 days. So he's just hit over 13 years at the club. So for 13 years, Simeone has implemented a very strict 5-3-2 with a DM, very strongly defensive defense, right? So he's also got his team full of horrible bastards that just want to hurt people, counter attack, and just sit. If they go 1-0 up or 2-0 up, they just sit back and protect that lead. I don't want to see that. I want to see goals, goals, goals. So here we go. I want you to try and bring free flowing attacking football to Atletico Madrid. There will be bonus points for your goal difference because at this current moment in time, quite magically, you are on 0 goal difference. So not only is your league finish going to kind of see who wins the challenge, how you get on in the Champions League is going to help, and the Copa del Rey, but also we're going to go on goal difference as well. How many goals can you score in this challenge? So there you go, Matt. Well, I'm going to give you 3-4 weeks. We'll come back onto this. Dave's actually started playing this, apparently. So we will have a catch up with him when we're legally allowed to. But before then, between me and you, I will get this done this weekend, next weekend. So yeah, we'll get it done and have a chat.
I'll aim to do the same. Yeah. Now, everything was going fine while you were speaking through this. I've loaded up to save, following all the screens you're looking at. Spine of the team is good. You've obviously got a very good goalkeeper in Oblak.
Yeah,
no
good.
issues with centre backs. I do really like Robin Lenormand. He's quite good actually.
Yeah.
Midfielders pretty solid as well. Vermeeren is in there, who's a young, obviously midfielder. We mentioned Conor Gallagher, Rodrigo de Paul. Alvarez is obviously there, but once you started talking about goals, that's when the narrative changed. So as Doop mentioned, this is January 25 in game. Griezmann is still there, age 34. He is currently the top scorer in the squad with 8 goals from 21 games.
That's not league goals, is it? That's just
probably not.
No, I think that's just goals.
That's overall. So he's got 6 in the league out of 15.
Okay.
So I don't know where the goals are coming from in here, and I think that my first instincts are we've got 2 weeks in the window. Striker is like right up the top of the list, because if goals are of the essence, they're not coming from Sorloth. Can they come from Alvarez? Maybe. I've never had him in the FM. Probably more of a wide player, but maybe you could get a bit of luck out of him. But I think it might need to go and look for a Gyökeres, or look for a see, can I bring Alexander Isak away from Newcastle? Something that I need to raise some
I
funds.
think that's kind of like I said, it's quite easy. We could just load a database up and say, here you go and do this. But I think like to try and add these things, what I like to do, I'll be honest with you, I like to score goals. And when I did my Atalanta save, my focus was on being defensively strong. And I felt like it was almost a completely different game because I'm not used to building a defensively strong tactic. My tactics, like this one at Manchester United, has always been we'll score more than you. We will Glenn Hoddle you, basically. And I think a lot of people play like that. When I watch people on Twitch, people get more excited about scoring goals than keeping a clean sheet. So, unless your name is Friday Night FM, who I'll give a shout out to, I remember in the network save with me, him, and Dave. I am allowed to say his name, so it's fine. Me, him, and Dave. Joe used to sign players and give them a really, really high clean sheet bonus. And if he's winning a game right at the end, he would basically try and force a goal. He used to just take players off and stuff like that. So not many people aim for a clean sheet nowadays. So I just want to see you score goals. Play different.
I like it because it's not, it's different for Atletico Madrid for how this team is set up in game for their tactical familiarity. Do you know when you load up a save, it tells you recommended formation, and like none of that is really aimed at attacking free-flowing football. So
no,
it's kind of changing a lot.
When you look at it, Mad, it's not really a squad. But it's almost like what we've done is we've sacked Simeone, who's built a squad to play the way he wants to play, and we've put someone like Ruben Amorim in charge. You know what I mean? Like someone that wants to play a different system completely. And your wingers and you basically don't have any wingers unless you're going to play Griezmann at 30,000 years old on the left wing. You're pretty stuffed. I mean, you've got Rodrigo de Paul, who back in the day was amazing, but at 31, he's getting a bit on now.
There's a lack of speed. Like Angel Correa, 30, actually he's out on loan, as is Thomas Lemar, both 30, both out on loan.
Well, you got Timmy Weir.
Timmy Weir, I don't. I mean, in FM, he's not very good in FM. He's never really been a great FM kind of a player, let's say. Marcus Llorente. This team needs work. This is going to need some maneuvering transfer.
I mean, there's normally, I'll be honest, when I build my squads, there's certain things that I kind of like do and make sure I like. Like my average age. I like my average age as low as possible. Atletico Madrid is 28.
That's very high. That's really
very, very high. Yeah. So good luck. I'll also say, just to give you a little bit more information to make the save a little bit harder. You've just come off of a Super Copa semi-final, lost to Villarreal. And now you're going into some tough games where you have to play Real Madrid and Barcelona within about 5 games of each other. Both away at home. Both away as well. Oh, and you got the Champions League and the Copa del Rey. So, good luck with that.
Nice. Link in the description.
Yeah, absolutely. And over on the Twitter, we'll tweet it out. Do we ever tweet these out? We should do. We should tweet.
We might. We'll tweet it out. If Dave is allowed on the internet again.
To. Yeah, maybe. Okay. One more thing I want from you, Matt. I've just given you a save idea. I have to be honest with you. I'm a little bit stuck. Yes, I know we've got a little bit of a while before FM25 comes out, but I'll be honest with you, I've had some driving time recently where I've been driving up and down the country, left and right, and I've had a lot of alone time with me and my brain, which is never a good thing.
No.
And I am really struggling for a save idea for FM25, even just beta save, any save. I'm just struggling. So I have. Obviously, this might sound a little bit scripted because Mad has done a little bit of research, but let's pretend he hasn't. Mad, I've got a question for you. Would you be able to recommend me 3 teams that I should manage, maybe potentially in Football Manager FM25?
I could try. I mean, if history's taught us anything, it's that you rarely, if ever, listen to anything I say or tell you to do.
What'd you say?
We'll try to influence your decision making, or at least give you something else to think about when you are having just you and Doop thoughts.
That's dangerous.
That's scary. That's a scary thought.
I actually think that would be a very good podcast. It's literally just me thinking out loud I could pair it with Ed Sheeran, who
I
probably at
think
this
you'd
weekend.
probably be cancelled within a week, but yeah, that would be.
That long?
It's a week. It's once per week, right?
Yeah, fortnightly.
Okay. So we'll forget about whether beta or full. I mean, I think this is going to be an interesting one. Everyone's just going to want to get a flavor of FM25. I don't think I think people will probably do 2 or 3 beta saves and just to figure out what the hell is going on. But I don't think anyone will risk starting their full main preferred save if there is a beta, let's say, because you've no idea how it's going to go, and we won't know what's going on in game. So we'll just park that for a moment. Okay, before we go into some clubs, I just have some questions for you.
Okay.
Mainly kind of 1 or 2 main questions.
Yep.
The main overall question on this, Doop, would be, would you be looking to have a stipulation, a rule, a limit? So something that confines you to an extent, whether that's who you can sign, who you can play, how you play, those kind of things. Or do you want to be a bit more open book, let's say, and then it's just about the club rather than limitations?
You know me. I am a self-righteous prick. I like to think I'm
He's
good
right,
at the game. I like to think I'm good at the game. So I that's why I do these silly saves like Deportivo Alaves. I have to make it hard for myself.
Okay.
Because she doesn't. So yeah, I prefer the stipulation.
Okay, cool.
That's what you wanted me to say, right?
Well, it definitely. I mean, I'm the same. You know me. I'm not very good at the game, and I still do this to myself. So,
sure.
But I think it also creates a lot more narrative. And when you've been playing the game as long as we have, and you've done as many saves as we have, I think it also helps you to enjoy it more because you're getting more reward from the pain, from the slog. So then we'll progress on. So before I jump into some clubs, I've got a couple of categories of types of save. And so I'll just kind of shout one out and you can tell me, ooh, that sounds interesting or not.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
So the category of clubs that I have here are: number 1, club in a mess. Number 2, the other guys.
Ooh.
So number 2 is the other guys. 3 would be never top tier. It does exactly what it says in the tin. 4 would be fallen giant, or at least fallen from grace. Let's call it fall from grace. And then 5 is youth only. So we've got club in a mess. I mean, I'll give you a couple of samples from them all anyway, but you can tell me who you want to hear first. Club in a mess, the other guys, never top tier, youth only, fall from grace.
Go for door number 2, please. Never at the top.
I can't remember which one that was.
Never at the top.
We'll go never top tier. Okay, this is straightforward enough. As it stands in the championship currently, right now, and so this is before we talk about any stipulations and limitations, but just
this sounds like a quiz question. Can I have a go?
Yeah, there are 5 clubs who have never been in the Premier League. Dupe. Who are they? That are currently in the championship.
My knowledge of the championship is a bit shit. I'm going to go for Rex. No, Wrexham aren't in it. Blackpool have been, but they're not in it either, are they? Fucking hell, that's tough, Mad. I'm going to go for Middlesbrough, Bristol City. They're local to me. They've not.
Correct. Bristol City is one.
Oxford United. Oxford United haven't.
Oxford United is correct.
QPR Millwall.
Millwall is very correct.
Oh, I'm probably struggling now.
Now, there's one club who you should know in particular for having recently sacked a manager that you would know very well.
Oh, Plymouth. Argyle.
Plymouth. Yes, indeed. Plymouth are one. And the final club would also have close ties to your current supported club.
Current, like I'm going to change. Yeah, probably will change. Oh, fucking hell. They Northern?
They would be classified as Northern. Have often had players on loan from Manchester United, including one, David Beckham.
Preston.
Preston North End. Yes, indeed.
If we have any listeners from that support Preston, I'm going to say something that I apologise for, but I didn't know they were in the Championship. I'll be honest with you.
I'm glad that turned into a semi-quiz when you have no idea about clubs.
I've just Googled them now. How long have they been in the Championship? That's really bad. They've been in there a while. Yeah,
a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So of all of the teams, there's 24 teams. 24 teams in the Championship now.
Yeah.
And only 5 have never been in the Premier League. So the save objective is obviously pretty clear, is to get one of these teams into the Premier League, which you could argue isn't super difficult, maybe, because obviously, in FM, you can come in, take them over, and maybe get promoted within a couple of seasons. However, if we bring a stipulation in, Doop, I can offer you 3 types of stipulation. Okay. One would be Regionair.
Oh.
And a Regionair Millwall is particularly interesting because you're looking at London and it's a lot easier to navigate in game.
Yeah.
So Regionair is an option. For those of you that don't know, check out 5startpotential.com, look up the Regionair, but it's only local players.
Plymouth would be brutal.
Plymouth would be the opposite of that. It would be
Bristol City would be pretty brutal too.
Yeah.
However, they've
other
got
options then.
They've got Scotty Twine that plays for Bristol City. He's actually from Swindon, so that would be pretty close.
I do fear that one good player won't be.
No. Scotty Twine. I mean, if you're a listener, I'm sorry, but I don't think he's like. Anyway, we'll move on.
Yes. And then the other options would be you could go homegrown, which is basically just you have different levels of homegrown. A simple one would be where they had to, it's basically kind of like youth only, but they have had to have been trained at your club, which you can also do in the search filters in FM.
Yeah.
So they could be specific to that club, or you could just go with kind of homegrown, as in English players only. Yeah. And that would also limit you as well. So there's a couple of clubs in terms of what the objective is. And if you want to make it harder, you bring in your stipulation.
Yeah.
So there's some food for thought. Should I give you another category?
Yeah. Let's go for not Club in a Mess, because I know what that's going to be. What was the other categories?
So you've got the other guys.
Yeah,
Fall from Grace.
Go for that. Other guys.
So the other guys the concept is fairly simple. You're looking at a big city within Europe who have pretty dominant teams and neighbors who have always been in the shadows. So that's why they are the other guys. So examples would be Paris FC, who are currently in Ligue 1.
You mean Red Star? Come on.
No, different.
Remember who you're talking to.
I remember Red Star, but this is a different side altogether. I think they actually had some kind of a takeover as well recently. There's Red Bull talks and everything.
Oh god.
Other options in Madrid, you've obviously got Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, but you also have Real Vallecano, who live in the shadows, obviously, in Madrid, of the bigger Madrid sides. Other good examples might be Torino, who are in Turin, but obviously Turin is more well known for Juventus. The list kind of goes on. I mean, there's plenty of teams, obviously, looking at the different cities. It's probably better to do this abroad. You did something similar to this before with 1860 Munich, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to overthrow Bayern Munich. That was a very ambitious challenge. But it's really about trying to match your bigger neighbor, let's say, in that particular city. And you just get out your atlas and have at it. Look for a city and where there's a bigger club and potentially a smaller club.
Love that. Yeah.
And then,
cool.
So that challenge is tricky enough on its own. But similarly enough, you could start to bring in some of your stipulations about homegrown players, youth only. Regionair is always obviously interesting as well. But in this case, your objective is about trying to get as good as your bigger neighbor. So that's category 2.
Tough. Really tough.
Now let's go. Would you like Fall from Grace or youth only?
Fall from Grace.
Fall from Grace is pretty straightforward. Your mission is to find yourself a team that used to be very good or used to be at the top table to an extent and simply no longer are. And I've only picked up kind of 1 or 2 examples in England just to give listeners and yourself a flavor. But it would really just be, I think part of this in terms of taking it on as a challenge is finding a team yourself. But For me, a really good example of this are a club you know and a club you'd be familiar with. Right now, you've got a club by the name of Oldham Athletic, as an
Yeah.
example, who currently play their football in the National League. And younger listeners may not know that Oldham Athletic were originally in the Premier League, one of the founding members of the Premier League in that 92-93 season,
Mm.
and have fallen all the way down now to the National League. Similar situation applies to Swindon, who used to be in the Premier League, as you well know, Doop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And other examples in League Two, let's say Bradford City are in there, who once were flying in the Premier League, and obviously have had a massive fall from grace. So that's kind of the example.
Carboni.
Benito Carbone. I was going to actually mention it. If you know, you know. So that's the kind of narrative. Again, there's other teams out there. Bordeaux, obviously, are a really recent example who've had just an absolute collapse. They also meet the clubs in the mess category too. Parma used to be in this situation. They've obviously climbed back up to Serie A now. So there's a few teams out there. Like Kaiserslautern in Germany comes to mind. They once played European football. They're now in the third tier of Germany. So
Isn't Hertha Berlin gone down as well?
I think they're in the second tier of German football. So you're really looking for someone who's really, really collapsed, because that gives you a lot more space. Like if you took Oldham, for example, you're in the National League. So you're not going to be in the Premier League within 2 seasons. Do you know what I mean? It's going to take you a while. And that's a long-term project, I suppose, is the point too. It's not a challenge. It's obviously a long-term save idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice one. And then final category was to go youth only, but focusing on clubs that have particularly good academies. And I've just picked out some examples here. The good thing is I had researched this a long time ago, so I didn't have to do a whole lot. So basically what you're looking to do
is your commitment, mate.
Yeah. I remember doing this last year as I was trying to figure out my own save, and maybe I'll need this myself, but we'll come back to that. There are some clubs out there in particular that just have a very good record of producing great players. So the inspiration of the save idea is to take over a club or to replicate that. So I'll give you an example. We'll just pick one closer to home. If we look at an obvious one, might be Southampton, Dupe, right? So Southampton have a really good record of producing kind of players who've gone on to big things. Matt Letitia was there, obviously. Wayne Bridge, Ben White, Gareth Bale, James Ward-Prowse, Tyrone Mings, Theo Walcott, Adam Lallana. Even Matt Target came from there. I didn't know that. Nathan Tella. So like that's a club that obviously is struggling now, but if you were to go youth only at that, it would be hard, but they do have that reputation. They have a really good track record. Charlton are another surprising one as well. Jermaine Defoe came through Charlton, John Joe Shelby, Scott Parker, Ezri Konsa, Ademola Lookman, who's on fire now. So you could even try and sign him in this save if you were to do a youth only at Charlton, because technically he would qualify. Or if you wanted, you could go further afield. I'll pick a few random ones. Random teams such as Stuttgart in Germany have produced Joshua Kimmich, Antonio Rudiger, Serge Gnabry, Timo Werner, enough said about him the better, Bernd Leno, Mario Gomez. Or you could go over towards France to somebody like even Le Havre, who had Paul Pogba, Riyad Mahrez, Payet, all of the Mendy's. Or even somebody like Metz, they produced the likes of Robert Pires, Koulibaly, Miralem Pjanic, Sadio Mane. There's a whole bunch of options here. And I've actually written a couple of blogs on 5starpotential.com about these youth academies. But that's the inspiration of a save as well. But you'd have to go youth only, Dupe.
Yeah, that I'll be honest, it is a cool idea for a save. I like the idea of a save. The only concern for me is like my favorite part of Football Manager, or one of my favorite parts of Football Manager, is squad building. So like when you can't actually sign players, it does make it quite, it takes a big kind of part of the save out.
It limits you, right? It's like when you were at Alaves as well, right? You even at this, you could sign players, but they would have already had to have played for they would have had to be homegrown at your club. So your pool is so small, like, and you've experienced that as well. So again, it's niche, but it's for those who are looking for niche,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, that's why you need to make them difficult. Okay, mate. Brilliant. Well,
yeah, boy.
I still got some more questions for you because I think we got time for a little quiz at the end. And I'll be honest with you, I was having a conversation with somebody at work today, Friday, and we were talking about Ryan Giggs and about how many assists he had, and somebody said that he was crap. Basically, somebody said that he wasn't as good
It
as
was
everyone
crap.
makes out. Yeah, he was crap. And players in the Premier League at the moment are better than Ryan Giggs. Some of the examples he gave were Gabriel Martinelli, Gordon,
Oh dear. Is
Jack
this guy
Grealish.
like 19?
Yeah, pretty much. So I thought, I wonder who has a lot of assists at Newcastle. So I've got 10 players in front of me, 11 actually, because one of them is a few of them are joint, but we're going to go 11 players just to make it fun. They have played in the Premier League. They are assists in the Premier League, and they are 18 or more. Just to give you a little clue. So that's number 11 is 18. I'll also give you a clue. Number 10 is 18 as well. And I want to see if you can guess or strategize and get the majority of them.
Shearer is up there.
Yes, correct. Alan Shearer is number 2 with 36.
Alberto Solano is up there.
He is numero number 1. He is on 54.
Okay, I would say Rob Lee is up there.
Rob Lee is number 3 with 31.
Yes. Then I would 31. Wow. Okay. Then I would say Amiobi is in here just based on number of games played.
Amiobi is in the list at number 9 with 20.
9. Okay. Okay. This Premier League era we said as well.
Correct. There's one here that shocked me, and I am just Googling it as we speak because it has shocked me a little bit. But Lauren Robert is correct. He's number 4 with 29.
Okay, good. Peter Beardsley?
That is the one that I am Googling as we speak. But apparently he did have quite a few appearances for you in the Premier League. There you go. Actually, he played quite a while. I take it all back. He's just very old.
He was there for a while,
yeah, he is number 6 with 26. He is joint number 5, actually, with somebody else that's on 26.
How many have I got? 5?
You have got number 5 is not done yet. Number 7 is not done yet. Number 8 is not done yet. And 11 and 10 and 11 have not.
Okay, I've got plenty left. So
5.
I'll just start pulling. They're the definites, and now I'm just going to start pulling some names. Gary Speed
is unfortunately not. He is 15th with 15, which is quite nice.
Okay, let's go with. See, Ginola didn't play that long. Ginola was only with us for 2 seasons.
Did he get more or less than 18?
Did he get more? I don't think he got 18. I can't see him getting. Did he? No, I don't think he's on the list.
Okay. He's on
Is he on the list? David Ginola.
He's on the list, but he's 25th with 12.
Okay. Who else could we pick out here? I'm trying to think of players.
I will start giving you clues in a minute when the recording ticks over an hour. I'll give you clues. So.
I'll keep an eye on the clock there. So, right, okay. Players who were there for a little while. Creative players. Kevin Nolan.
Kevin Nolan is not on my list.
Kevin Nolan is not on the list. Why would he? What about?
There's two here that you're going to kick yourself. There's one here that's going to surprise you. I'll be honest.
When I start to run dry, then we can jump for clues. I'm surprised I've never looked at this list myself, for a quiz idea. So,
this is a bad idea.
This is a wonderful.
That means you would have checked.
Yeah, the problem is that we've had like I could start shouting players like Ben Arfa comes to mind, but he wasn't there that long. Yohan
He's
Cabaye, maybe he's on the list.
no, neither are on my
No,
list.
that's incredible stuff. Bellamy.
Bellamy is not on my list. He is. Well, he is. He's 24th with 13, but yeah,
Okay.
no.
We just didn't have players stick around for long enough to actually build up any decent numbers. Let's say, hilarious stuff. I should ask if there's any current players on it, but I doubt there is.
There is.
Is
Yep.
there?
There is two current players.
Has Trippier got himself into it?
Trippier is 12th. He's just outside with 17.
Okay.
So I will give you a couple of clues because we are getting to a little bit now. There are two players that are currently in your squad. There is also Bruno is correct. He's number 8 with 20. There's also two other players that still play football, but not for Newcastle. So we're thinking
Jacob Murphy. Has Jacob Murphy managed to stumble in there with his recent glut of assists?
Jacob Murphy is sat at number 7 with 22.
Good man, Jacob.
He is the top current player.
Okay. What about Matt Ritchie?
Matt Ritchie is the joint 11 with 18. He is joint with somebody else that still plays football.
So you have Alan Saint-Maximin.
Correct. He's on 18 as well, so he's 10th. However, you are now missing numero 5 with 26, who was joint with Peter Beardsley. I can give you a few clues. He played 190 games for you. 169 of them were starts. There's a clue I can give you that will just give it away.
Oh, well, then don't. I don't know. It might make sense. Like, are these Premier League assists, or do you know, or is it just for the era?
This is just Premier League assists.
We were in the Championship twice.
This was just Premier League assists.
Okay. Like, it wouldn't be Callum Wilson. I think it's gone back a bit more for 26 assists in the Premier League with a big bunch of starts. Rule Fox? I don't know.
Ooh, good guess, 16th. This gentleman could have a fight in a phone box.
Kieran Dyer?
Kieran Dyer at number 5 with 26. So if any Newcastle fans are listening, that was off a website, which is an AI website called StatMuse, which I typed in Newcastle United assist leaders of the Premier League all time. If it's wrong, blame that. Okay, so that's it, Mad. That is the quiz. The quiz done.
It made me work. Made me work.
Yeah, exactly that. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to episode number 387 of the 5-Star Potential podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, leave a review, follow on everything, TikTok, all the worst. Everything else you can do. Please go and do it. You can find the links for each of us in the podcast description or by visiting 5starpotential.com, where you'll find a new podcast. Or you'll find all of our latest Football Manager content. I've jumped the script a little bit there. 5-Star Potential is available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and most of our popular podcast apps and platforms with a new podcast released every single week. Just maybe not on Monday most weeks. Thank you all for listening. There'll be more from us next week. Say goodbye, you handsome devil.
Over here. Goodbye. Bring back Dave.
How do you say goodbye in Irish? Obviously, hello is top of the morning. So
we would say Slán Gafol.
There you go. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.